This season on Survivor CNU.
Welcome to Survivor CNU in Deep Water.
Survivor CNU went in deep water with its second season as 17 new players began the competition to become sole survivor. They were divided into 3 tribes: Blue Crew, Mystery Gang, and Peptali Bismali. After the first few challenges, it was clear Peptali Bismali struggled, as they lost both Sam and Pondo. Over on Mystery Gang, the tribe was divided along gender lines. However, the ride or die between Shaggy and Lily proved to be too strong, as they agreed to vote John out of the tribe.
It's a new...
Everyone drop your belts for certain tribes.
After a surprise tribe swap, it seemed Henry was the odd man out. However, Nick changed the vote last minute for their next 2 tribal councils, seeing both Abby and Addy voted out. Over on the new Tafiti tribe, Colin was the swing vote between his old tribe and his new alliance of the Pinky Pact. After voting out Maggie, the Pinky Pact agreed that Hannah needed to go, even so far as throwing the challenge to ensure that her torch was snuffed.
There's nothing that they can do.
In an effort to save herself and her idol, Hannah voted for her ally, Gabe, foiling the Pinky Pact's plan in hopes of a merge.
Everyone drop your belts to merge.
After the tribes merged, Henry was in the middle with all the power. After finding the clue to the hidden immunity idol before the first challenge, and eventually finding the idol, he found himself in the middle between the clear divide between the Pinky Pact and the Red Scare Alliance. After Nick was voted out, Henry had to show his cards and sided with the Red Scare Alliance by voting Lily, the figurehead of the Pinky Pact, out of the game.
So much for an honest game, Henry.
With Colin not far behind. Knowing that they were down the numbers, Shaggy and Leah reached out to the power couple Colin, Ray, and Hannah in hopes of a big move. This move would come at the final 7 when Hannah and Colin turned on the Red Scare Alliance, voting out Sophie. At the conclusion of a long endurance challenge, Henry felt safe after Hannah and Colin's reassurance as well as the idol still in his pocket. However, the couple stuck with Shaggy and Leah, blindsiding Henry out of the game. Now we are down to the final 5. Colin Ray. Being part of a preseason pair with Hannah, Colin Ray's social ability has led him to be part of many important votes. Once he and Hannah were able to work together, the dynamic duo controlled every vote after the merge. Will the duo make it to the end together, or will the cutthroat nature of the game bring an end to their dominance?
So I hope they're not judging off like just who their alliances were with or whatever like that.
Okay.
Because then I would be screwed.
Hannah. Despite having her boyfriend in the game, Hannah has truly made her own path. After finding an idol, she made every attempt to save it, including voting out Gabe. Once at the merge, Hannah led the Red Scare Alliance to dismantling the Pinky Pact. Her relationship with Shaggy allowed her to be in a secure position at the final 5. Will she cross the finish line, or will her resume be too much to get her to the end?
I feel like you can't let too much of the previous gameplay affect you too much because, like, this is game time.
Kristen. Voted as the dark horse to win the game, Kristen has been in the majority votes for most of the game. Her relationships with Nick, Sophie, and Henry have led her to the final 5 and a chance to win the whole thing. Can the dark horse take the prize, or are the odds too stacked against her?
If they grade or judge based on skill, I think everyone has a chance.
Leah. Seen as a non-threat since the beginning of the game, Leah has made it through without being on anyone's radar. Her ability to get along with everyone can help her case to win, as she has not made any enemies. Will she be able to slip through the cracks to a victory, or will someone finally put her on the radar?
So if I did make it, I think I would try to hint to them that yeah, I definitely did play this game. I just didn't play it as crazily as other people did.
Shaggy. A namesake member of the original Mystery Gang, Shaggy has been able to make it past several crucial votes. His pre-merge alliance with Lily and his post-merge alliance with Hannah have proven his ability to make strong relationships in this game. His cunningness has led him to this point, but will it be enough to get him the win?
I'm gonna have to pull something out of my ass in order to wow the audience.
While these 5 players have had different journeys to the end, they all have a 1 in 5 shot at winning Survivor CNU's second season. After 72 long days, we will finally find out who has what it takes to outwit, outplay, and outlast to become the sole survivor? Let's find out right now on the season finale of Survivor CNU in Deep Water.
So Henry was voted out, and that was kind of the plan, and he even played his idol, which was fantastic, because we were all worried, because he kept saying that he was going to play his idol, but we kind of caught his bluff, and so obviously he didn't play his idol, and then he got voted out.
It was the most terrifying time of my entire life because it was literally up to whether Henry plays his idol or not, because I couldn't find an idol.
So Colin and Hannah blindsided me again and voted Henry out. I think they thought he would use his idol.
Oh my gosh, I was like freaking out. Like my heart was like beating so hard because I was like, when you asked if anyone has an idol, play it.
So that was a good result. I'm not sure why he didn't play his idol.
But yeah, so Henry's gone, which sucks because we had just spent almost an hour talking about how we were gonna go forward over lunch, and he's gone now. So yeah.
I think there are some hard feelings on his part. I think he's kind of mad at us, but I mean, it's a game and he can't get after us for lying to him when he lied to us because he said he was going to play his idol, but then he didn't.
Oh, after Tribal, Hannah and I talked to Kristen about why we didn't tell her and stuff like that, because we didn't want to like keep her out of the loop again. We felt bad.
I didn't think he would, but then I thought he was too.
And then Shaggy and Leah joined the conversation.
I was gonna tell you, and I thought you'd be on board to do it, but I didn't know. I just wanted to be safe. Yeah.
We all eventually like talked together, and then we all went our separate ways, and I saw the three of them talking again, so it was like, that definitely makes me nervous.
But then afterwards, Shaggy and Leah left, and Colin, Kristen, and I all met up.
Yay. Okay.
Okay, well, I'm thinking Shaggy next week, definitely, as long as he doesn't win a meeting, which he won't.
He's not gonna have a meeting.
Whichever one of them doesn't win.
Yeah.
Any
Well,
of
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that their strategy has been to like take out the alliance and then go with Shaggy or Leah to the final three. Like two of them and then one of Shaggy or Leah. Just because it makes sense. Like I think I'm very obviously the next one to go.
But yeah, we are sorry that we didn't tell you. But
Yeah, that's okay.
and like I feel like
If you had gone there,
I just feel
if you had
it
gone
wasn't
there,
anything like against
blindsided.
you.
I know,
It
but I've
was
been
just
blindsided
like-
twice now, and it's like obviously I'm grateful it's not me.
We kind of explained to Kristen why we did what we did and how we possibly like a final thing with her and how we think that we should vote out Shaggy next, and she's on board with that. At least from my knowledge.
Well, I think as the three of us know who we want.
Yeah, this is what I've been
yeah.
wanting for a long time.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I feel I should have told you that this is what I wanted before we all kind of voted people off and
Without
without telling
telling-
you.
yeah,
But I'm glad it worked out because I feel a lot more confident with the people that I'm with, especially making it towards the final three.
I think it's smart of them to do what they're doing, but I think if they really think that I'm going to keep going with it, and like if I really think that they want me in the final three with them, that there's no way.
So there's a lot of things to think about. And obviously in the back of my head, there's always the thought of, well, do I actually want to bring Colin, or do I want to bring other people who I think I might be like win against? We've talked a lot about it actually, and you know, we kind of got to the point where we were saying like, you know, every man for himself. You know, if it comes to the point where someone needs to be voted out, that's a game.
Who would you say you trust the most in this game?
Well, that one's easy. It's Hannah, but actually, I don't know, because she could be completely lying to my face. I feel like eventually I'm going to have to lie right to her face, and she could be doing it already, so I'm not sure.
You know, we're pretty honest with each other, and we don't want anybody, either of us, to fail or anything like that.
I feel like I can't go around. It's way more difficult than I thought.
What are the odds you're gonna put out your girlfriend?
I think it's up there.
I would probably give it as a right now like a 66%.
Shoot, but I feel like if she gets out 4th or 5th, she won't be as mad at me. So I feel like that's more I'm leaning towards. I think it's not super high. 50% chance that's gonna happen.
Yes, in the ideal world, I'd want my boyfriend to be in the final 3 with me, but like he has kind of played a strategic game that has been in the background more, so it's not as noticeable as possibly like my game necessarily or Henry's game. So I'm keeping in mind, you know, can I beat him? If he's not a person I can beat, then I might want to bring somebody else instead of him into the final 3, and he would probably respect that.
Because half of me is like, I'm not positive I can win over Colin and Ray. So sometimes I think I'll get Shaggy and Leah and vote out Colin and Ray. Half of me is like, well, no. Like, even if I don't win, it'd be kind of interesting to have made it all the way as a couple as well, because, you know, it's kind of unheard of with Survivor.
I think the more that I've played this game, the more I'm like, yes, I want to win, but like it would also just be fun to have Colin there with me too, to make it between us, I guess.
I would be happy if either of us won. Obviously, I would want to win Survivor, but I think we both have worked hard, and we've worked hard together, and so I think we both deserve a spot, and one person shouldn't just take credit for. Like, I think if either of us win, it's kind of a win for both of us because we both worked hard and did a lot of moves together.
Because I don't want to vote Hannah out, because I feel like it'd be cool if we both made like the final 3.
Like, I'm pretty confident that I want Colin in the final 3. We've gotten to the point in the game where, like, it's just fantastic that we've actually made it so long as a couple and that no one's necessarily targeted us. And so it'd be awesome to make it to final 3 and be able to, like, go through that whole experience.
Alright, final 5, ready to get to your next immunity challenge.
Yes.
Alright, Kristen, I'll take it back. Thank you. Alright. This challenge is called Second Chances, so you guys get a second chance for some of the previous challenges. If you didn't do well the first time, you might be able to make it up for it, and if you did well the first time, this is your opportunity to show that you're the best at it. So, we'll start with 10 dizzy bat spins. R.I.P. Kristen. Go around and Colin. Go around the cone, cross the balance beam, then you go to the right. We will stack dominoes like we did in the first challenge where we had like the secluded people. Stack 25 dominoes. And then you go over here where the whiteboards are. You have to write the order in which people were voted out. Yeah, that's a new thing.
Okay. Like,
Hope you've been studying. Yep, hope you've been studying. And then after there's a word puzzle like we did in the blind.
Is there a word bank?
The 2 no. We'll drop spots when we get started. Final 5-minute challenge. Start in deep water. Survivors ready? Yeah. Go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
9, 10. You're good, Colin. Slalom through the cones.
10,
10. Go, Hannah.
Shaggy and Hannah finish almost at the same time. Here comes Colin Ray. Shaggy and Leah right behind. Now you gotta get across the balance beam. You can't jump, you gotta walk across it. Here comes Colin. One at a time only. Colin's off, gotta go back to the line. Hannah gets off. Shaggy gets across. Colin Ray's good. And Leah's good.
10, go.
Kristen's not done with that. Now you gotta start just stacking these dominoes. Hannah has a bit of a lead here. There are 25 dominoes. Everything falls for Hannah. Kristen is off the balance beam. Here she comes. Things fall for Colin Ray. Shaggy and Hannah close. Colin Ray close. Leah's all over the place. Shaggy with a very, very steady stack here.
This is the worst stuff.
Colin Ray struggling. Kristen's caught up.
Oh god, the wind.
It's a bit windy out here. Hannah has about 4 left. Everything falls for Colin Ray. Gotta start over. Hannah being careful. Leah's is very awkward, but it's working. Kristen has officially caught up. Everything falls for Leah. Kristen has 3 left, and Hannah has 2 left. Kristen. And Kristen's good. Kristen can move on. Hannah almost done. Hannah, things fall. Who's been working on the order?
Oh my god.
Oof. Yes, Hannah, just missed. Just dropped everything.
1, 2, 3.
Shaggy's good. Shaggy's moving on. Let's see. You can move around here just so people don't peek.
One, two, three, you're good.
Colin Ray and Hannah still working. Hannah almost done again.
1, 2, 3, go. 3, go.
Hannah's good. Colin Ray starting all over again.
Wow.
Colin Ray. You can move around in case you want to make sure no one peeks. You have to go both 5 and 6. It doesn't matter the order. I think you're done. Come over to, no, just call me. I'll come right over. Shaggy was worried, but he's almost done.
I legitimately don't know who this is.
Everyone.
I don't remember his name.
Everyone is stumped. Alright, Shaggy's first. Shaggy can move on, take one of those. Hannah. Hannah can move on, she's done. Didn't turn over her board though. She didn't turn over her board. Kristen and Leah flipping over. Hey, just let them look. Colin Ray's still on the dominoes.
Please, come
Trev.
Trevor!
Jeez, she has it. What does it say?
On the board!
Hannah wins immunity just like that. All right, Hannah can get it. Hannah, you have a 1 in 4 shot at winning Star 2 in deep water. The rest of you can't say the same. Travel council in a few days. I'll see you then. Have a good night.
I'll probably talk to Colin. They'll probably all be over text since I'm not going to be here, but
Well, if I wasn't gonna win, I'm glad it was her. She sells an idol, so she has to play it for somebody. I'm hoping she plays it for me, but she might play it for Shaggy or whoever she wants.
I think a major thing that I'm going to be thinking about this weekend is what I want to do with my idol, because I obviously don't need it. So I don't know if I should play it and just kind of play it as an idol, like, guys, I've had an idol this whole game and no one knew, or if I should actually use it for some sort of power.
But I think we're still gonna vote Shaggy, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
She might be leaning more towards Kristen, but I'm not sure.
I talked to Shaggy earlier today, and he was like, so what are you thinking about the game plan?
So, where do we take this from here?
I guess it's just Kristen, because I don't think we'll probably eventually vote out Leah, but I'm more worried about Kristen winning immunity challenges than I am Leah. So I just say Kristen.
Okay.
So I know I want to go to the end of the hand. That's the thing. I'm done backstabbing people. I'm done. I don't want to. Hannah's the kind of person where I'm like, I want to go with him.
So for the final 3, what were you thinking?
I was thinking you, me, and Colin.
That works.
And at any time during the game, I would vote out Colin if it was necessary, but
Yeah, I got you.
don't think.
Yeah,
I'm
and
more
if it's
scared
not
of
necessary.
Kristen in this game than I'm
I
scared
am
of Colin, to be honest.
Yeah.
So Leah is kind of like, she's been seen as a dark horse, as we mentioned in that one challenge, and so she's hasn't made moves, but she's sweet and people like her, and she's kind of been quiet. So that's also a threat as well. Because what if people are, just mad at Colin and I and vote for Leah just because they don't want one of us to win?
The thing is, Leah hasn't really backstabbed anyone.
That's what.
That's what's. See, that's I've been thinking.
Someone.
And then there's Kristen.
Kristen has people on the jury like Henry and Sophie who might end up wanting to vote for her instead of Colin or I because of blind sides that we've made.
And none of us ever want it as Kristen, because Kristen hasn't pissed off anyone in this game at all. She's gonna get all the votes.
And she's a smart player. Like, she didn't necessarily make humongous moves in the game, but she was a big hand in a lot of the moves that per se happened. Is that what you're kind of feeling too, or are you trying?
No, I don't. At this point, like I said before, not really. I'm not like comfortable, because you're never comfortable.
Yeah,
in this game.
you're never comfortable.
But it's. I'm more comfortable than when.
With Hannah, I'm at a constant state of like, will you backstab me? I don't know, but I'm hoping you won't. Obviously, Christian was like, hey, can I talk to you guys?
Yeah, so basically what I want to talk to you guys about is like, my view of like Colin and Hannah right now.
For the way I see it, like, they're gonna vote me next, and I need to pull Shaggy and Leah on my side, because Colin and Hannah, as far as I'm concerned, are like going to vote the same.
I assume they've come to you like they did the last 2 times, but like I have this feeling that they want to vote me out this time, and like what I would suggest is that the 3 of us work as a block until the final 3.
But what I think is like valuable to Shaggy and Leah is that if we do it where the 3 of us get to the final, Colin and Hannah are going to pick one of them. But I'm not going to, because I don't have any reason. I'm not going to pick Colin and Hannah at this point.
Because the way I see it, they're going to vote together and they want to make sure that they are in the final 3, but I think that if we can like just kind of eliminate them basically, if the 3 of us vote together, and then that way it's ensuring all 3 of us can be in the final 3 as opposed to them 2 and just one of us, you know what I mean?
Kristen is obviously feels suspicious about them, so she wants us to vote Ray.
Okay. Well, if we did work together, which of the 2 would you be more scared of, or more?
Well, right now we have no choice but to vote on Colin because of Hannah having immunity. That's why I think
It
the
could
3
be.
of us
It
need
could
to
be
stay
either.
together on
It could
this.
be either of us.
Yeah.
So, not you, Leah, because apparently
you're golden. I don't know how.
You've gotten like 1 vote this entire game.
Yes, sir.
Honestly, I feel like I've been very underestimated. I'm like, when I was talking to Kristen and Shaggy, they were like, Leah, you're golden, you're good. No one's thinking about voting you out. And I'm like, kind of offended. I'm like, why? Why does no one want to vote me out? Because like, I don't really have anything bad against anyone on the jury. Even though like, I'm like bad at challenges. Like I still somehow make it through. So like, I don't know why everyone's underestimating me. It kind of makes me mad, but at the same time, I'm glad they are because it's gotten me this far.
It's like, as far as I'm concerned, like I'm done with trusting them basically because they've gone back twice. And I think that they're just gonna keep doing it until they get to the final 3, but like obviously only one of us can join them if that's the case.
Yeah, true.
How much trust do you have in the rest of the other 4 people? If any.
I have no trust in Colin and Hannah at this point. Shaggy and Leah, I honestly just have to trust at this point, but I have really no basis either way.
My view is that if we can kind of like, we need to break them up in order for, I think, for us to do well. Just because like, they've shown that they're gonna do what they want to do, like as like a block within the 2 of them, and they're just gonna pick and choose who they want. I think.
I agree.
For the 3rd, or for the final 3.
I think this is definitely the most nervous I've been for a tribal council because I really have like no clue what the hell's going on.
Alright, so, final 5. Hannah, how important was winning immunity?
I think it's definitely important, especially just knowing that you're safe to go into the final four. I mean, obviously, in league it's always special, but especially when you get in such small numbers, you know, the votes are kind of, I guess, I don't want to say easier to make, but there's less people to work with, so having yourself be safe is a big deal for sure.
Mm-hmm. Leah, because there's only 5 of you, have you noticed any like pairings or trios that have formed?
Yeah, and I definitely, like, that kind of, like, ends up happening just because of, like, who you've worked with the most since coming to this point, and, like, who you trust the most. So, I mean, that kind of just, like, eventually it's inevitable. That kind of has to happen, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Colin, you're shaking your head when I asked that question.
I just, you know, because I feel like I like working with everybody equally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hannah, do you agree with Colin that you feel working with Colin Ray is no different than working with Kristen or Shaggy?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously you have like your allies in the game and stuff like that. But I know what you're hinting at.
What am I? Wait,
every tribal.
I'm just asking questions.
But like, I think I came into this game and I was ready to work with anybody. And there's people that you are automatically allies with, or you just are friends with, blah blah blah. And you do find stronger allies than others. But I think you come into this game willing to work with anybody, and I think that's a good thing. And I feel like I've worked with a lot of different people in this game on different allies and different tribes, and so you do hold on to tight alliances, but you also look to make new ones as well.
Shaggy, now that there's only 5 of you, it had to come into your head of who do I want to take to the end?
I mean, kind of, but at this point, it's like after my entire thought process has been like getting there. So once I get there, I'll think about it more. But for like, especially since last travel, after last travel, I am thinking about it more because I didn't expect to be here. But yeah, so a little bit more. But once we get there, we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Kristen, you were visibly shocked as for the past 2 travel councils. Does that worry you for this upcoming one that your shocked face could be in front of me stuffing your torch?
I mean, I think everyone probably has that same feeling because we all like to think we're in control, but obviously things happen that we're not aware of, and something that you have to take into consideration when you choose who to tell, what you want to tell.
So, Colin Ray, should I ask?
No. Wait.
Should I ask?
I don't know.
No? You don't know or
No.
No? Leah, should I ask?
Ask what?
No.
No, the answer is no.
Leah, we have gone like
No.
56 days, and we have seen 0 hidden immunity items.
No.
No.
We've seen
No.
We have seen fake ones.
We've seen 3 fake ones.
Fake ones.
Kristen, how important do you think this vote is?
It's very important, and I think each vote is more important than the next.
Okay, why is this one in particular so important to you?
I guess it's because obviously there's only 3 of us going in the final 3, and there's definitely been talks amongst all of us. Yeah. And it's really, in the end, everyone's doing what's best for them. It's just one of those, I think it's more rare because we've all definitely talked to each other and all had conversations, and you really don't know what's going to happen until
Leah, because everyone's talked to each other, like Kristen says, how can you tell which plan is the real one?
I mean, you can't tell until after the vote has been said, so.
Colin, you agree with that?
I mean, yeah, because like I trust everybody that's left in the game, but like you never, but I'm hearing like a lot of different things, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, trust will be broken with one of you. It is time to vote. Leah, you're up first.
This is the longest I've ever taken. Oh shoot, I just don't know.
I'm playing off the game.
Let's see if this works.
I'll retire the vote. If anybody has the hidden immunity dial and wants to play it, now is the last time you can do so.
Trevor.
I had this in my bag for many tries, and I want to play it for someone who's kept it a secret for as long as I have. And so I'm playing this for Colin.
Okay. This is a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast for Colin Ray do not count. Alright, votes. Colin Ray does not count. Shaggy. 1 vote Shaggy. Kristen. 1 vote Shaggy, 1 vote Kristen. Kristen. That's 2 votes Kristen, 1 vote Shaggy, 1 vote left. 13th motion voter out of CNU deep water, and the 6th member of our jury, Kristen, and George. Sorry. Kristen, Trevor's vote. There you go. Well, you guys have made the final 4. What that means for you is that we will have 1 final immunity challenge. 1 of you will join the jury as the 7th and final member. The other 3 will take part in final tribal council and have a chance to take part and have a chance to win this game. You will have the final 3 will have a chance to plead their case to the jury, who will be the winner of CNU in deep water. Guys, step out. Head back to your audience. Have a good night.
This was the coolest thing. Literally making it to the final 5 was something I never thought would be the case. And I couldn't be happier that I was able to participate in it. Obviously, I wish I could still be in, but I hope that the best player wins from here on out.
Okay.
Okay. So that was a try.
Yes.
It was a good play though. It
What?
made sense. What happened? It made sense.
What specifically?
Just the whole thing. What you and Colin did.
We did not vote together.
You did not vote together.
Uh-uh.
I gotta ask, where did you get, which idol was this, if you don't mind me asking?
It was the idol from the very beginning of the game.
You
I've
did
had it
find
this whole
it, you
time.
did. Wait, what? Huh? Apparently, Hannah and Ray voted separately. So what happened was, I got 1 vote, and Ray voted me, and Hannah voted Kristen. So what were you thinking for this one?
What were you thinking?
I don't know.
I keep going back and forth.
I do too.
Because half of me is like, I've worked with Colin this whole game. Like, I feel like
Yeah,
he
that's
deserves to
the
go.
exact thing. That's the exact thing
And then
I've
I'm like,
been thinking.
But Leah's
Yeah, the thing is,
an easier person to take.
yeah. So it's like I've played this entire game with her. We have been an alliance since the start of this game, but I have to think about it rationally.
It depends on how the jury is voting. If they're voting
Yeah.
with bias or not.
Yeah. So in that half of that depends on our speeches. Part of me says, what do you think? You know your side.
Yeah.
You're not your side, but like the people you were in an alliance with better. Do you think they would vote for Leah or for Colin?
Honestly, at this point, I feel like possibly Leah, because I think they were kind of upset about Colin and I turning on them, and I'm scared that like I mentioned, like I'm scared bringing someone who hasn't backstabbed like anybody.
Yeah.
Because then, like, I don't want us sitting at the final 3 being like, well, I've backstabbed this many people. You say, well, I've backstabbed this many people, and then Leah be like, I haven't hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm still here in the final 3, so that shows something.
Yeah.
I'm scared of her getting votes for that.
So then I met up with Hannah, and then she was saying, she was like, oh, I don't know what to do for like next tribal council, because you know it's like most likely gonna be 2 and 2.
I kind of like the idea of us having 2 girls in the final 3, which would be both of us. First of all, just because girl power, but also just like because I think I want us both there. So my thoughts are between the 2 boys. And the thing that sucks is like I feel like we all have ties with each other. So like I feel like I have ties with Colin, and I have ties with Shaggy. If Shaggy wins, I mean then I guess it would be Colin. If Colin wins, I guess it would be Shaggy.
Okay, so I talked to Shaggy, and Shaggy was like, kind of like, he was like, well, I don't know, it's between like Leah or Colin or whatever. And he was like, I guess we can just figure out like at the challenge, like if Colin wins immunity, we vote Leah. If Leah wins immunity, we vote Colin. But he seemed totally fine with voting Leah.
I don't know. I wanted Shaggy out more than Kristen because I thought that Shaggy was more of a threat, like in challenges.
He doesn't seem mad at you at all. And I kind of like was like, Shaggy, don't worry, like we're in it together and all this kind of stuff. So I assured him again.
Should already got him down. That'd be funny. Oh wait, I couldn't. You had immunity.
Yeah, so.
Hannah felt that I guess she felt that Shaggy she wanted to keep Shaggy around longer than Kristen, which is okay, whatever.
And I honestly don't think that Shaggy's gonna write my name down. So.
What? How did that start? I feel like cause Shaggy approached me, saying that he wanted to be like ride with me, but then he never talks to me again. He's just right on you.
Like I said, I think I'm his new. Lily.
Right, but like how? I think we should just vote Shaggy.
No, I want to vote Shaggy, but I'm saying I thought something where like they each vote for one person, but then us 2 votes counteract their vote because we have 2 votes, and they only would have 1 vote for that person. But never mind.
Final 4, are you ready for your final immunity challenge?
Yes.
Okay, first things first, Hannah. For the last time, I'll take it back. For the last time, immunity's up for grabs.
Last time.
In tonight's challenge, we're going to do a Survivor CNU staple. It is cones on a hard domino. So, what's going to happen is, all 4 of you will get a domino and a cone. You'll hold the domino with the cone against the wall for as long as you can. Last person standing wins final immunity, has a guaranteed spot in the final trial council to plead your case to the jury. One of you will become the 7th and final member of our jury. We'll draw for spots and we'll get started. Alright, this challenge is officially on. Make sure you don't touch the wall. If you touch the wall, you're out.
This won't be as bad as the other one.
This is why it's the final one, because whoever wants it the most is going to win.
Oh boy.
Hannah, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Staying concentrated.
Is your arm numb?
No.
Leah, can I take it? Out of the challenge. Shaggy shaking a little bit.
No, I'm just moving my hand back so I don't touch the domino.
I have not seen Hannah move once.
Colin's getting
Colin's pretty shaky. Oh, I've been shaky. Well, I think I just naturally shake.
So, Colin, I'll drop after you drop, I promise.
Really?
No.
I would have dropped if you said yeah.
She's like, well.
Hannah, what did you take on these negotiations?
I'll let them figure it out. I'm
was like,
I was mimicking.
pretty concentrated.
How about we all drop at the same time? Whoever's dominates the floor last wins.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay, guys, 1,
2, 3.
I don't know what dropped. Who could have thought?
I would have wanted to on tallest.
I'm tallest.
What?
Yeah.
Conrad's taller.
What?
Is he?
Yeah.
Colin Ray, how tall are
he's
you?
taller.
He is? I thought
5'11" and 3/4.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That is really annoying. You're taller than me by one
Colin
quarter.
Ray, out of nowhere, drops.
Very Justin, not work.
Okay, so Colin Ray is now out, 12 minutes in. We're now down to Shaggy and Hannah.
Shaggy, let me have it.
because you got
What?
Said, let me have it.
I want it though.
I want it too.
Hey, 12 minutes.
Negotiations are beginning. We're ending.
This
Yeah.
one's really precious.
negotiations with Kristen being like, oh, I'll let you have it. No.
Hannah, what will it take for you to drop?
Nothing, I'm not dropping.
Okay.
And I've done ballet my whole life, so this is not very difficult.
Damn.
I think Hannah just said game on.
All right, let's go.
Shaggy, Shaggy, you know that we're together, so why does it matter if you let me win?
I know, but it's not, I swear, it's not that I don't trust you. It's that I don't trust other people in this game.
I just feel like I'm in a worse place just because of stuff that you've told me.
What?
Just because of stuff that you've told me, I feel like I'm in a worse place because
I know, but I don't trust the others enough to drop this. It's not that I don't trust you, it's that I don't trust the rest.
We are officially at 20 minutes.
Oh,
Both Hannah and Shaggy shaking a little bit, it's just probably because they're numb and cold. It takes 1 second of loss of concentration to drop out. And you gotta hope the rest of the tribe goes with them. Shaggy, how much longer do you can last?
As long as it takes.
Hannah?
longer than that.
Oh, one up to my
Shaggy, this is getting embarrassing. My one-liners are killing it.
I know, I don't. Okay. Hannah.
Yeah?
I'm gonna make a promise not to vote you that I cannot break.
Who are you voting?
I swear to you on my grandmother's grave.
I'm sorry, Shaggy. I'm staying. It's up to you if you want to drop.
That's fair.
Hannah's slips just like that. Shaggy wins final immunity. You're good. Seriously? Shaggy, you're good. Alright, Shaggy can get it. Turn around. I got it. Shaggy, you have a 1 in 3 shot at winning this game. You will have a 100% chance of pleading your case to the jury. As for the rest of you, can't say the same. Trial counts in 3 days. If you guys figure it out, see you then.
Ray was the one who came to me and was like, "Hey, let's go talk."
Okay. I was just not expecting that to happen either. That's why I was like, I was dead set. 'Cause, like, I know how much Hannah wanted that.
She was
so
clearly
it really
upset.
sucks.
But I think the two of them are good. That if you were reading that the same as I was.
Even though like I'm alliance with Shaggy, I really didn't want him to win because for Hannah and Ray, that puts me as their target and not Shaggy.
I don't like how they're like Shaggy and Hannah are like that close.
I don't think they're that close.
Really?
though.
They are. They definitely are.
You sure?
Yeah, no, I'm positive. I'm not just.
Why?
I'm not lying to you because they like talk in like private and stuff like that. And then Shaggy. I think Shaggy's gonna vote me because I think him and Hannah kind of have like an alliance, and then him and Leah clearly have an alliance because they've stuck with it the entire game. Well, I can't vote Shaggy, which is what I wanted to do. I wasn't lying. I did want to vote Shaggy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we have to. Well, I'm talking to you right now, and I think Hannah's the biggest threat right now.
I agree. I do think Hannah's the biggest threat.
Ideal situation for me is me and Ray and Shaggy. So I'm sorry, but like 2 girls, like.
I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna vote. I think Shaggy's definitely voting me.
I don't know. I think if I could talk to him, the thing is,
Throw
would
Hannah?
you be
You could
willing
try.
to vote Hannah?
That's
the only thing.
I still think.
Because I think, I'm gonna be honest, she came to me and mentioned voting you once.
Really?
And doing a tie between you and Shaggy, so neither of us, so it wouldn't look like we betrayed someone.
But I don't think she wants Hannah in the final 3 because she feels like Hannah's gonna get all the votes from the jury. I see her point with that.
I'm sorry, but I think you'd have to vote out me.
Yeah, and Leah was kind of like, we have to vote Hannah, stuff like that. How do I know you're gonna vote Hannah? And I was like, I'll vote her if I need to win or stuff like that. But I don't know.
So I told him that because I was like, if you make it to the final 3, people would be like, why didn't you vote out Hannah? She's like the strongest player. Why didn't you guys vote her out? Like that's stupid.
Because I kept, talking to Shaggy, and he kept mentioning you out, but I was like, no, that makes no sense. Of course we want Hannah out, because even though she's backstab people that play the game, and she's played the game, and everyone knows she plays the game, and everyone knows how much she wants it.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I think when we were talking and we came back, he was like, I trust you the most, Hannah. Like, he said that to her, and I think that's honestly how he feels, because they've had kind of like a hidden like alliance for 6 challenges now, I think, since almost the merge. Or no, not almost the merge. Probably like after Lily got voted out, I'm assuming.
Because he was saying he didn't think Shaggy was going to vote for Hannah just because they're very closely allianced, and that they've been allianced for like past couple things. And I was like, what? I don't really? I was like, I thought you would have told me.
I'm gonna tell you something that I haven't told anyone else. You can sorry.
I don't know.
Because not that I didn't trust you before, but Hannah's the entire reason I'm still in this game. How I got this far was because after Lily got out, I made a secret alliance with Hannah that neither of us have told anything about. She
told
is
Ray, 'cause Ray told
I know she told Ray, but like not to the extent that Ray knows.
No, he knows.
How much does he know?
He knows that you guys have been together for like the past 6 or 7 challenges.
I know.
Well, then of course, I don't think I've ever been more frustrated. I went to go talk to Shaggy, and I told him, I was like, so yeah, when me and Ray came back and you were talking with Hannah, what was that about? And instead of being like, oh, I was just telling her that so she would drop out, he goes, well, Leah, the only reason I'm here is because of her. And it sounded so pathetic.
And I know it's a game, but I'm gonna feel terrible if I put her out. Because she's the reason I'm here. When did Ray tell you? Just now?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, he's told me before that you guys were like an alliance.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but it's the kind of thing where I wasn't really in the position to be making demands of her.
Yeah, so since we've been in a secret alliance, because apparently she told Ray like immediately, which kind of upsets me.
And I kept mentioning to him that I didn't want to like straight up tell him that like I want Hannah out, because because he kept saying he was like, he kept saying that like even though he wants to win because they're boyfriend and girlfriend, he would like feel a little upset about that. You know, I told him, I was like, I know you've had an alliance with Hannah like these past couple times, and I told him, I was like, and he kept like saying, I'm sorry I lied to you, and I was like, I'm not sorry, because like I understand you have to like make alliances and stuff, so I was like, I'm not upset that you're alliance with Hannah, I'm mad that you don't see how dangerous she is now and you won't vote her out. And I don't know if he understood that, but I was like that's the reason why I'm mad, because I've been alliance with you this whole time and you're not willing to like see that we need to vote her out.
And she was upset that I didn't want to vote Hannah out.
First and foremost, I'm not willing to vote you out, because
I think Hannah and Ray are.
we've been in. That's the thing. Let me talk to him. Now that you know I'm in this alliance. No, you knew, but from me, there's still a lot to think about, because I know, again, I'm not willing to go, and that's complete honesty for me. I'm not.
Well, I'm not willing to vote Ray out.
You're not willing to vote Ray out?
I'm sorry, but I really don't think there's any way to win if Hannah's still in.
I could just go up to Hannah and say, if it's not Ray, it's you. Leave it at that. Or say Ray, go up to Ray and do the same thing.
So I can't vote Hannah out. And Leah doesn't want to vote Ray out, right? And I'm kind of worried about if Hannah getting all the votes now. But I'm also worried about Ray. So I'm like, why don't I just not decide? So what I'm essentially doing is convincing Hannah that we're all getting out Ray. Leah is convincing Ray that we're all getting out Hannah to force a tie.
And then I was trying to think right after, like, okay, what are the different options that I have? And one of them was that we would trick Ray into voting Hannah, and Shaggy would trick Hannah into voting Ray, and then we would split the vote, so then it would be the two of them in the challenge.
So yeah, one reason I was scared of Shaggy winning, just because then, like, in my eyes, if you and Ray were really close, then the only option you two have is me. So that's obviously one thing I was scared about. I think it'd be better for you and like Ray if one of you two got out, because then people in the jury are gonna ask like, oh, the only reason you two are here together is because you're dating.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's how much Shaggy pitched. Oh, Shaggy's here. Good.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Just
Yeah. But then I was worried about that because one, they're probably really smart. They're talking to each other. They would probably be like, "Oh, well, she told me this," and it's like, "Oh no, well, she told me this," and then be like, "Okay, well, we're voting for Leah now."
His cunningness and his he seems to have a way with words that can convince pretty much anyone to do anything, which scares me. And I feel like he can use that, like again, like I was telling you before, he can use that to pretty much win.
And then as we were walking back, I heard Shaggy saying to Hannah, "I don't trust anyone more than I trust you." And I was like, "Excuse me? Are you kidding me? Who has been your alliance, or who has been alliance with you this entire time?" Like, that was incredibly frustrating.
I've talked to Hannah.
I can't make you do anything, but I would like for Colin to go because he's better at talking than Leah.
I know.
He's better at, and I know you don't want him to go, and I'm going to try to get Leah as well.
And he said that originally she thought she wanted you out of this game, but then I convinced her, that Colin was a more smooth talker and that he could convince the jury more to get him both because of his talk.
I went this whole spiel about how I had this huge talk with Leah and how she was skeptical at first, but I convinced her that Ray's more of a threat and I have to scare her into basically voting Ray and that it's working.
She wouldn't vote for me if I vote her out.
See, these are the things that scare me when you say stuff like that, because it makes me feel like you don't want me in the final.
No, I do. I want you in the final.
Which is why, that's what I was trying to insinuate when we were at the challenge, because you've told me in this game that you think that I could get votes, and that's what I'm scared about you guys all flipping against me.
I'm not gonna flip against you. I will not. I promise you. That is a promise I physically cannot break. I will not vote for you.
I made a promise that I couldn't break. I made a promise on my grandmother's grave, which was a stupid thing for me to say, because in my own moral standing, even though this is a game, I cannot and will not ever break that.
People can tell you all they want in this game that they're not going to write your name down, but that doesn't mean a thing. I've told basically every single person on the jury that I wasn't going to write their name down, and I wrote it down.
Again, the best I can say is that I will not write your name down. You can, whether you believe me or not, but the thing I said at the challenge, I cannot break that.
He kind of, in a way, was like, you need to vote Colin. And he didn't say it out loud, but he kind of was insinuating, because he kept saying, I'm not voting Leah and I'm not voting you, so Colin's the only one that's left to vote for.
The only thing I'm worried about is Ray and Hannah talking to each other.
Okay. So, I talked to Shaggy, and Shaggy was very adamant that he wasn't going to vote for me.
Yeah, because then I talked to him and Leah today, and they were completely trying to convince me to vote you.
Yeah, because Shaggy tried to convince me, and then I talked to Shaggy and Leah today, and they tried to convince me that you were the best bet because you're gonna smooth talk the jury and stuff and try to get all their votes. So I think it's the best bet for us.
During the talk with Shaggy, I was just saying that obviously I'm on the chopping block and I'm not stupid. And he kind of went on about how he's tired of backstabbing people, so he's not going to. But at the same time, while he's having these conversations with me, he's been texting Colin, and Colin's telling me what's going on, where he's saying, when did Hannah tell you about our alliance, as if he's trying to confirm that I'm on his side and stuff. And obviously, Colin and I are filtering what we say to him to make sure that, he still believes that I'm his 100% ally. It almost seems silly to me, half of me understands why he's doing it because he's trying to confirm that I'm in an alliance with him, but half of me is if you were smart enough and thought that through, obviously Colin would tell me, and we would filter what we say to you. So I don't know, it kind of frustrates me because I'm come on, Shaggy, I'm trying to be honest with you. But then also I'm not honest. It's a very hypocritical thing. Everything about Trevor is hypocritical.
Either they are gonna vote together, and there'll be a tie, our 2 votes against Leah, and then the 2 votes either you or me.
That'll be the smart thing, because they should know. They should know we're not gonna vote each other.
separate.
But
I
how
don't
would
know.
we?
But like this whole game though, we've kind of been like saying that we're willing to vote each other out. So, and I feel like sometimes they forget that we're dating. Like we make jokes about it, but I don't think they think how seriously we're actually playing this game together. Like I think people just think that we're dating, and we're not like 100% alliance members, even though we are.
I don't want to go to a challenge because I'm worried one of us is going to lose. But I feel like worst case scenario is going to go to a challenge.
So like Leah was like, "Have you talked strategy at all with Colin?" I was like, "No, not really." And she kind of like smiled as if like,
Well, we don't really.
I guess we don't talk. I don't know, cause we don't have to talk too much about stuff. Like I feel like we kind of just are always on the same page. We think alike. So like we know what the next vote's gonna be. I don't know.
Well, not last tribal.
No, not last tribal. But I say that we still put 2 votes Leah, and then
Well, clearly. Who else would you
whatever
vote for?
happens.
I don't think I'm going to write Hannah's name down at all. So I have to write Leah's name down. I don't think Hannah's going to write my name down, so that's another vote for Leah. So that's 2 for Leah.
Now introducing some of the members of our jury. Nick, Lily, Colin Bunn, Sophie, and Kristen voted out last tribal council. Okay. So, Hannah, last tribal council, you played the first hidden immunity idol of Survivor CNU in Deep Water. How big of a move do you feel like that was?
I mean, it wasn't probably the biggest move I could have made, but it was the move that I felt. There's a couple of things going into tribal council that I wasn't sure about, and so that was the one thing that I was pretty steady on that I knew I needed to do just in case things didn't go the way I thought they were going to go.
So Leah, at the final immunity challenge, your domino fell first. How tough was it to watch the rest of the challenge knowing your fate was in the hands of the rest of the players?
It was definitely a little worrying because, like, as I left, things were being said, and then when I came back, I heard those things, and was sort of like, okay, what's going on? And then, you know, we definitely thought it was going to go one way, and then it goes another. So then, like, it was definitely surprising. So, yeah.
Shaggy, how hectic has this week been for you?
Okay, a little bit, but not too much because I'm safe, and this is like, yeah, it's been hectic because I've just had to think through a lot of things, but not too much because I know I can't go home, and that's a very, very peaceful feeling, I get.
Conray, today is day 63 of Survivor CNU in Deep Water. How big of an accomplishment is that to you?
That's a lot of days. I don't know, I had fun. I don't know, I tried my best, I guess, when I got this far, so it feels good.
Leah, do you feel like because there's 4 of you, there has been more talking about strategy or less talking?
I don't know. I feel like there's been about the same amount. I haven't really noticed a huge difference.
Okay.
But I guess there's like limited options, so that's the only thing.
Shaggy, how less paranoid do you feel that you're not one of those options?
A lot. Very much less paranoid, if that's English. It's... Yes, I am still concerned about the outcome, but again, I can't go out, so my paranoia levels have gone down a lot, which is nice.
On the other side, Hannah, your domino slipped out of nowhere, which led to Shaggy winning immunity. How crushed were you when you heard the domino fall?
Awfully crushed. I mean, it was kind of like one of those moments that you don't register what just happened, and then you do, and then, like, I remember feeling for, like, the rest of the night that, like, I was, like, in a TV show and I could rewind and redo it, but then you can't, and so it kind of sucks. And, you know, Survivor's a game of paranoia, so that stuff starts creeping in and kind of scares you, so.
Leah, do you feel like this is anyone's game for tonight, it's a free-for-all, or do you feel like there are different factions that are formed?
I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit of both. I don't know. I feel like there can be factions formed, but at the same time, I feel like we're all very deserving to be here, and we all obviously worked very hard. So I also feel like it's anyone's game.
I have to say, it is the Final Four. You guys seem really calm. Conray, is that just a front, or are you actually just calm?
I personally feel pretty good about what I think is gonna happen tonight.
I think other people here do too. Yeah, I don't think it's fun.
Leah, do you feel this confidence like Colin does?
Every single tribal, I always think of like the back of my head, I'm going home. But like, I just try not to like think about it too much to like scare myself. Because what happens, happens. You can't, after the votes are read, you can't change it. So yeah.
Hannah, how confident are you tonight?
As confident as I've been in every single travel. Which
Okay.
is not a lot.
Okay. And Shaggy?
I mean,
Shaggy's feeling great.
I'm surprisingly concerned.
Why are you concerned?
I'll just say that.
You're just giving me a shrug?
Yep.
Well, Shaggy,
Yes.
you have immunity.
Yep.
If you want, you can give it to someone else.
Nope.
Okay, didn't think so. With that, for the last time, it is time to vote. Conrad, you're up first. I'll go tie the votes. I'll read the votes. First vote. Hannah. Colin Ray. 1 vote Hannah, 1 vote Colin Ray. Leah. 1 vote Colin Ray, 1 vote Leah, 1 vote Hannah, 1 vote left. The 14th person voted out of Started CNU in Deep Water, and the 7th and final member of our jury. Leah, you need to bring me your torch. Leah, how's it going? Time for you to go. Well, congratulations, final 3, Hannah, Colin, Ray, and Shaggy. You have done what 14 other people could not do. You have gone as far as you can, you have gone as far as you can get in this game. The power now shifts from you 3 to the jury. 7 people you had a hand in, either directly or indirectly, voting out. They will decide who they think is most deserving of the title of Sole Survivor. You have Thanksgiving break to think of your final tribal council performances. I will see you then. Have a good night. Go back to residence halls. See ya.
Freaking Shaggy, you're loyal to someone the entire freaking game. I don't know how many times I had to freaking calm him down, and then, I have no words, but at the same time I have 1,000 words. I don't understand why I was voted out. Like, Shaggy he's not gonna win. I gotta say, I already know who I'm voting for, and it's Hannah, not Shaggy. So yeah, so she can win because she's an amazing player, and Shaggy is not, and I'm very upset with it. So yeah, that's all I gotta say.
It's not like I didn't see it coming. It's not like I was entirely shocked, because come on, it's them too. Like,
Crazy that it actually worked and it happened, but it did, which is fantastic.
I'm still here, so it's not terrible.
I'm excited. It's just kind of like my goal after the merge to make final 3. So I'm happy that I made it.
Like, you start this game and you want to get to the merge, and then you want to get to final 5, and you want to get to final 3, and so like this is the highest you can get.
It's nice to be in the final 3. It's nice to like not have to worry about getting voted out anymore.
Especially with Colin in the game too. Like, I didn't think first of all that both of us would make it past merge because I was worried someone was gonna find out, and I definitely didn't think we were both gonna make it to top 5. But then we both made it to final 3, which is fantastic.
We joined the game together, and I was initially like, oh, I'll vote her out and stuff when the time comes when I need to. And then at the time never really came. Nobody was really questioning me about it that much, so I never really had to vote her out. So then it became like a goal for us both to make the final 3, so it was really exciting that we did. I feel like I do deserve to win the game. It was definitely a question to bring Hannah along, but it's also a question for her to bring me along. I think that's kind of a decision we made together. So I think that's my only bad play to bring Hannah along. Her and I kind of play like a similar game. Like we both kind of have been making the decisions together after the merge, but then before the merge, I think she had more challenges than I had, but she overcame them, so I guess that makes her look better.
Like, we always talked as an alliance, and I think he though he gave me advice on some things, at the end of the day, it was my moves. It wasn't him making the votes. It wasn't him talking to people. And I feel like I was more aggressive in the game.
She's overcame more challenges than me, but I feel like I never put myself in situations that would be challenging for me.
Colin's played a much more social game. I feel like whenever we made a move, I was towards the front of it, and I was the one, talking to Shaggy, making his lines, making sure the votes that were going our way, and I think he was kind of more in the background. And so when people got voted out, it seemed to me, the aggression seemed to go towards me and not so much Colin's.
It depends on how the jury votes.
I hope they don't take it too personally that I voted all of them out.
It makes me nervous that I voted for every single person that's on the jury, and Colin has voted for everyone but one, Kristen, and then Shaggy hasn't voted for, he's probably voted for like half the jury.
I think I have a couple of people with votes, like obviously Colin Bunn's not going to vote for me, but he's the only person that I know I'm not going to get his vote.
I'm kind of friends with Nick, so I think he might vote for me because I've kind of made some bonds with him, especially with talking about the RA process and stuff.
But I think I'm going to get Lily's vote. There's only 7 of them, I think. Yeah, 7 of them. So all I need is 4. I think I can win. I just gotta think of a kick-ass speech to do.
So I think I'm gonna try to humble myself in front of the jury.
I feel like she's a good enough player that she's more of a threat.
Because I kind of came into this game thinking that I was going to be on the sidelines and be a quiet player that only needed to play when she needed to, and that kind of ended up being what happened. I feel like I was quiet for the beginning, and then when I needed to be aggressive and ruthless, I wasn't afraid to be.
It would be like, in all seriousness, it would actually be really cool.
Okay. Take your spots, Shaggy all the way, Hannah in the middle, Colin right on the left. On the closest top of the line. All the way there.
Oh, this is not gonna be fun, guys. Whatever happens, it's been fun.
It's been fun. Okay. Nick, you're here. And then Henry will start this one here. Sorry.
Okay. Colin, Ray, Hannah, Shaggy, welcome to your final time of council. It has been a long 72 days of Trevor CNU in deep water. So let's get to it. Power now shifts from you 3 to the jury. 7 people, you had a hand in voting out, will decide who they think is more deserving of the title of sole survivor and the winner of Trevor CNU in deep water. They will ask you the questions. Your job is to persuade them to gain their vote to win. The jury has prepared a number of questions to help them to make this decision. But first, let's get started. We'll do opening statements for the 3 of them. Then, jury, you will have your chance to speak to them. Some of you waited a long time to talk to them. All right, let's do opening statements. Shaggy, you're first.
So, I've played this game, I think, at least to the very best of my ability. So, for the opening statements, briefly, I will review. In the beginning, the game was a little more simpler. I played the best of my ability, but it wasn't too heavy, I guess. I didn't make too many big plays. I stayed with the team, and I made an alliance, and I made friends. After that, the second merge happened, and things got shaken up a little bit, but I still had my team, and I stuck with them. And
I started making bigger plays, but nothing too good. And Phoebe happened. He rocked Trevor's world. And a couple people I made a little upset. But I still did everything in order to get me where I am. After that, we officially merged into Merlot. And I thought I had it. I thought everything was gonna go smoothly. But then, well, I got it up. And our alliance got rocked, and it was 3 versus 5, and I thought, I'm not winning. But then I thought to myself, I'm not giving up, because I love this game with all my heart and all my soul. And so I thought, who would I be with in alliance that no one would expect? Someone I've been trying to get out since the very beginning of this game. So I got an alliance, and I found my way, and I made it, and then that alliance became more than just a way for me to win. It became a true alliance, and I consider Hannah my friend. And that play, along with a little bit of trust and a whole lot of strategy, put me every vote. Not just that, but with my skill and my strategy that I've put to this game, because I've managed to beat the odds of there's no way I'm going to win to where I am now. And I did that. I think I did that with a combination of strategy and I guess a little bit of lying, but mostly to the best of my ability. I try not to completely betray people, because I feel in this game, yes, betrayal and backstabbing and lying is a big part of the game, but I try my best to do it as least as only when necessary. And I know for one of you that I did make a mistake, but overall, with the best of my ability, I did what Survivor is. I outwitted, I outplayed, and I outlasted. And that has got me here. And I did what I had to do, and I personally think I did pretty well.
Hannah.
Shaggy steals some of my lines, but I like it. So, as I think a lot of us have, watching Survivor as we grew up, that whole sob story of, doing that, and I just remember watching it as a kid and thinking, oh, like, how do these people not know that they're being blindsided, or how do they stink so much of this challenge? Like, there's no way that it could be that hard. And then coming into Survivor, seeing you, I just remember thinking, like, oh, I'll be prepared. Like, Survivor doesn't look that hard. And then coming to this game, I was completely surprised, completely blown away. And I remember talking to Trevor in my application and just being like, yeah, I'm gonna be quiet on the sidelines. And I think when I first came to this game, I tried to play that and just play in the background, but I got into situations that were really difficult and had really hard moves in them. And I found a lot of myself throughout this game. I think everybody kind of says that, but I think throughout this game I've made moves I didn't think that would ever be possible for me to make. I'm not gonna lie, I've lied to probably most of you on the jury, and I've backstabbed many of you, and I'm not gonna shy away from that. But as Shaggy said, the game is outplay at last, and I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I regret any of my decisions. Some decisions were much harder than other decisions, but I do think that when I needed to play hard, I was willing to, and I think that shows a lot of charisma and courage, especially in a hard game like this. This game has been hard on everyone, and I think there's a lot of things that, like I was saying, hard moves, and I just think that I'm trying to think how to word this. I'm terrible with words sometimes, but I honestly believe, and I've said this before, and I've said this multiple times to Trevor in our confessionals, but sometimes I think the person who should have won Survivor is often on the jury. I think looking out on you guys are not only big strategic players, you're also great social players and just great at challenges as well. And I think some of the biggest threats in this game were the people on the jury. And I knew coming in and seeing and meeting you guys, you know, it's easy to put at the first challenge being like, oh, that's this person, this person, just putting names to faces. But once you start meeting these people and seeing how smart you guys all are and how talented you are in this game, it's very scary. And so, you know, great for us to be here at the final three, but you guys are some of the hardest players that I've ever, you know, met and even seen in a real Survivor. You guys are fantastic, and I think, you know, you guys were threats and you guys were scary in this game, and we I mean, I know, I probably speak for all three of us, you know, we felt like you guys needed to get out of the game because we knew that at the end of the day we probably wouldn't be getting out of the game if you guys were in our positions. And so, you know, kudos to all you guys as well, because you guys were honestly some of the best players in this game, and I think you guys are just fantastic, and you know, that's all I
Conrad.
So I'm gonna start off by saying sorry to everybody that I lied to. I was just playing the game. I'm not like a mean person. I also don't have really a speech or anything. Some people came more prepared than I was, so I probably won't talk for too long. I just want to say that every move that I made like everybody else here, got me to where I am right now. Throughout the game, I made the alliances that I needed to get in. I actually tried making like the most alliances that I could. I felt, even if some of them weren't real. So yeah, I think I've played the best game that I could have, even if it meant lying to a lot of you guys. This was like my main goal. So thank you for playing with me and letting me get here. Yes. Short and sweet.
All right, jury. Now you have time to ask your questions. I know you want answers. You're seeking information to make the best decision of who you want to win this game, either Colin, Ray, Hannah, or Shaggy. So let's get to it. Kristen, start us off.
Hannah, why do you deserve Colin?
I like the trend going. I think I was an interesting player in that I came in not thinking I would have to play very strong. But then when the moments arose, I think I was ruthless and willing to make those hard decisions throughout the game, and I think I made some really smart plays, which I could tell you. I don't know if you want to know. I think, for one, the gate vote was that was definitely the hardest move I've had to make in Survivor, and I think that move at that time I did have the idol with me, and I knew a lot of you guys believed that I possibly had an idol, and so thinking at that time I didn't want everyone to know that I had an idol, so I made moves that kept me in the game but also kept me with my idol, and so making those moves, and then also deciding to align with Shaggy and voting out some of the best players like you guys, making those big moves and just being ready. And I think I kind of, once I made the game vote, I kind of went in with the Red Scare Alliance and kind of died down a little bit, and then arose again when the time called and stuff. So I think I made some big moves while also trying to make those alliances and friendships impossible.
Shaggy, why do you deserve one?
For me, every move I've made in this game has had some sort of purpose, and no matter the result of that move, I've made everything to the best of my ability, because I would consider myself at least a decently strategic person. And moving up the game, I've made a lot. I think I've come from pretty difficult challenges. Like I said earlier, it was 3 and 5. It was pretty clear I was going home. And I managed. I survived. And after that, my name was put down every tribal consistently for like 4 or 5 in a row. And I survived. And so I think, in just the name of the term, I have managed to survive.
Alright, thank you, Kristen. Sophie.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. Colin Ray. Why should I vote for you when you've literally just been in the middle of the game the whole time?
Well, That's exactly where I wanted to be, I guess, because like you guys were on top, and that's why you guys are over there. And then even the people on the bottom are over there, obviously. So because being in the middle of the game got me here, and that's pretty much why.
Hannah, why should I give you my vote when you were the main strategizer voting all of us out?
I mean, I think the fact that I was able to make those moves, I think it was, I obviously could have stayed easily with you guys, but I knew I saw you guys all as threats. And while I'll take some credit for the strategy, I think that both these people next to me were part of my alliance, and they both also made those moves with me. At the end of the day, I don't think I would have been here if I had stayed with you guys, because you guys were all smart players, and I was worried for myself. And I think just being able to look at the numbers and make that decision to flip and start voting with Shaggy shows that I was willing to make ruthless moves when I had to. And being not afraid to be strategic in a game where strategy is really needed.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophie. Nick.
I guess. Shaggy, you've mentioned that you have been a survivor since the merge and everything. What have you done? So from my perception at the tribal councils, it seemed to me like you've just kind of sat there and crossed your fingers hoping that it wouldn't be you to go home. What have you done? What have you done to take action to ensure that it isn't you, rather than just sitting there hoping it isn't you?
So, first of all, when there was the three of us, I went to Hannah and I started Battle Lines so I could have a chance, so I could survive. And after that, and that was the Sophie vote, and after that, for the Henry vote, I spent the entire day talking to Henry to give myself a better chance. I spent the entire day coming up with a story, talking to him, so that he would feel confident enough to not play his idol. For Kristen, yes, I trusted all of them, but just in case, I spent the time and I talked to Kristen and I made sure she was voting. She put Ray's name down, so in case they backstabbed us, there was an equal chance and it would have gone to a tie vote and we would have had a chance. And for Leah, I did everything I possibly could to get them to try to get them to vote against each other, so that it would be me and Leah in the end. And even more than that, so that it would be fair, so that it would go to a challenge instead of having to actually betray one of my teammates.
So have any of these moves that you've made been ones where you have trusted yourself, and have any of these moves that you've made that you just mentioned been ones where you actually trusted yourself and not others?
Yes, I believe so. For Henry, I trusted myself to convince him that he was safe. If you get what I mean. I had to trust myself because in the end, yes, I made some very good alliances, and I made some good alliances, and I made some very good friends in this game. But in the end, it's an individual game. When it comes down to it, there's 3 individuals up here. So I had to trust myself. I was the one I trusted throughout this whole game in order to get myself to this point.
Alright, thank you. Colin Ray. What specific gameplay moves have you made since the merge that have brought you here?
Probably the Sophie vote. I think that was definitely a turning point for the whole game. That was the week to side with Shaggy and Leah, and because it was either they go home or we backstab Sophie and she goes home, or Kristen or Henry, whichever one we chose. So I think that was the biggest move that got me here, because I don't think it would have lasted very long.
Thank you. Hannah, on kind of like a personal level, but not like personal, why should I give you my vote?
I think I took a lot of bases throughout the entire game. I think like I mentioned before, I've, been the quiet player that didn't ruffle too many feathers, and I also wasn't afraid, like I've been saying, to be ruthless and to be courageous and to make those moves. I think I also was very active in making alliances and making sure that votes were going a certain way or not going a certain way. Especially a lot with Shaggy's alliance and making sure that Shaggy and Leah were voting along with us and going through that. And then also just taking care of myself first and foremost. You guys all know Colin and I are dating, and
Whoa.
What?
Anyways,
I got to a point where Kristen, so when Kristen got voted out, we had something where I was a little bit unsure about where he was going to possibly go, and I knew at that point I needed to take care of myself. And so I think I hit a lot of different bases in that game, and just really brought myself through some of the problems I had.
Thank you, Nick. Lily.
First and foremost, congrats guys. It's been fun playing with you guys and missed you gang forever. Happy to see two of those members up there. I'd say my first question will go to Hannah. There are 3 ways of playing this game. There's 3 components. There's physical, mental, and social. How would you say, if you had to assign who played the best of each of those to either yourself or the people beside you, who would you say played the best physical, mental, and social?
Yeah. I'd probably give social to Colin. He and I were in alliances. I think I was more willing to make moves and start playing stuff out, but he was always someone who had great alliances with people. And I kind of always commend him for that, for being able to, be honest. And I know one reason he didn't want to vote for Kristen was because he wanted to be honest with her, and so I respect that. And so I think he played a great social game. Well, I want to give myself the strategic. I think I might do that just because I'm not a huge physical player, and the challenges that I did win weren't necessarily because of any physical strength necessarily. And I know that Shaggy really tried hard and beat me on the last challenge. And so I think in the challenges, even when he was singing that song on those polls, I think he was always in the right mindset during those physical challenges. So I'd probably give him the challenges just because I think he was, although mental is the one strategic, I think he was also mentally strong during those physical challenges and kept a brave face when we were all struggling and stuff. So I'd probably give him that one.
And strategic for yourself, as we said. For Colin, I'll say, shocker, you guys are dating.
Yeah.
I know that was a huge thing. It was wait a second, check the Facebook. Oh my gosh, how long has this been going on? It was a whole thing.
Sorry, guys.
It started with whispers, but then it was just kind of okay, well, only a few of us know. So, we'll keep it on the down low if you want to line with us. I mean, all of this to say, when I was talking with you about if you were saying you made a lot of alliances, even fake alliances, when you were talking with, my main alliance, Pinky Pack, Shaggy, myself, Pinky Pack, we're Pinky Pack. It's alright, don't worry about it. So Shaggy, myself, Leah, and Colin, Fun. You had mentioned that you...
Sorry, Colin Fun's face, but he woke up for something.
Don't worry about it. You had mentioned that you would be willing to vote out Hannah, and I know that you guys have kind of played separate games because, you haven't been a showmans. So how has the relationship going into this, what was the plan going into it, and while you were here, and also at what point, how far were you willing to go? Did you mean it when you said you would throw her under the bus?
Okay, so starting out, when I first, is it applied? Is that the right word? Tried out? Auditioned.
Applied.
Yes. Okay, when I first applied for Survivor, I told Trevor that I was completely willing to vote her out if it ever needed to happen. And I was honest with you, actually, if it needed to happen, I would have voted her out. But surprisingly, it actually never seemed to ever come up. Ever. Nobody talked about it. So it was never really a big thing. Towards the end, I think I would feel a lot safer tonight for everyone's vote if I did vote out Hannah. I feel like she's a really strong player. So I feel like it wasn't the best decision to keep her here, but moving through towards the end, I felt like it would be awesome if we both made it like together. So that was basically the mindset towards the end. But for like probably until that was not until Henry. After Henry went out that I felt like that probably. So yeah.
Okay. Final question. Shaggy, my newer, I would say I enjoyed playing my game with you. And sorry it was cut short, but I'm really proud of you. And my question would be, I know you've talked a lot about wanting to apply for the actual game. And I wish you best of luck. I really hope so. I want to know if you were given the opportunity to play on the real island, knowing what you've learned.
How would you take any like lessons you've learned? Maybe like how your strategy had like from when you went in to like how has that changed your perception?
So this game has changed my perception of Survivor in general a lot. I'll be honest, I came into this game and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be the villain, I'm gonna put everyone out, I'm gonna backstab everyone. I quickly learned that that can't happen. Not just because it can't, because the alliances and the friendships I made, the friendships just that I made here are real. And they mean a lot to me. And when I thought throughout the game of like, well, I have to vote these people out, I realized that would be so much harder than I thought it would be. And that's one thing that I think I'm going to bring to the game, is that both a combination of that friendships and relationships are real. And that's a part of the game. And I have to realize that. And I did realize that. This game has taught me that. And also that there's a point where you have to trust people. And that's another thing that I struggled with at the beginning of this game, but then I just told myself, I have to trust. Because trust is so important in this game. You can't survive without trusting people, and eventually I said, fuck it, I'm gonna trust people. So those two things, that relationships and friendships are real, that trust is a big thing in this game. So yeah, that's what I would take away.
Alright.
Thank you, Lily.
Okay. Alright, Leah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm actually going to change my original question for Colin. I'm curious, so like, during, the like final four vote, we had obviously, come to Hannah about voting you out and coming to you about voting Hannah out. And I definitely knew Hannah was most likely going to vote for me. So, of course I was thinking about voting you out instead to at least be a tie, but I decided to vote out Hannah because I really thought you were going to vote with me for Hannah. And you mentioned how you said you would really vote out Hannah, so why for that last one? Especially because I think she was definitely a bigger threat, and she was a bigger threat to you on the final three with both of you being here, so why did you change your vote to me?
Well, again, after the Henry vote, I kind of changed my mind about putting Hannah out. I felt like I would much rather just go here with her than either her have to vote for me or against me, or vice versa. Me have to vote for or against her. I would have much rather just came here with her. So going into that, I just was not going to vote her out, no matter what. Well, for the most part. But I had also told her before that that I was already voting for you. It was either you or Shaggy, whoever didn't win immunity. So that was already the plan going into it, and I wasn't going to change it.
Okay. I'll ask Shaggy next. So, what specific strategy have you made yourself without the help of other people?
At least for me, the biggest, and I've said before that I don't know how this happened, but this is the moment. Convincing Henry not to play as idol. Or not convincing Henry not to play as idol. Making him feel safe enough to not play as idol. I spent, like I said before, I spent almost that entire day talking to Henry, attempting to make him feel safe enough so that I would, because I knew it was me or him. I knew it was one of the two of us
So that move of keeping myself alive, I said, it's in my hands now. I did my best to talk to him and to make this whole thing about voting to convince him to be calm enough to not play his idol. And I would say that was, I could be wrong, but I would say that was, because that's the point where it was truly, it was all the cards on the table, it was up to me. So yeah.
Okay. And then Hannah, I'm actually wondering, with your alliance with Shaggy, like, what was your strategy behind that? Were you like thinking about taking him to the final three for a certain reason? Like, why did you guys alliance, and what was your strategy behind it?
Yes, I think especially towards the beginning, as I kind of mentioned before, it kind of worked out that obviously from, pre-merge, we were not on same alliances, and it was kind of obvious to many that we probably weren't going to ever get along. And then when it kind of clicked, like, oh, this would be interesting, people probably wouldn't think about me trying to decide to align with Shaggy. So originally, it kind of started off like as a alliance that would be really easy for me to automatically, start. But then eventually, we did kind of become friends and became allies, and I did respect some of his game moves. And I thought, there was threats that I was scared of more. That's just kind of. And so, yeah, I think kind of it started off as an easy alliance, but kind of grew to like a stronger one.
Oh, can I also ask one more question towards Hannah? I'm wondering, so then if Shaggy didn't win the immunity that last challenge, would you consider voting him out?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's it.
Yeah. Thank you, Leah. Henry.
Hannah, I'm looking for a one-word response. Who on the jury is most deserving to win? Like if it was reversed, like you had to vote for one of us.
Sorry, I only get one word from figures.
Next question.
That was a lot.
Just something. No explanation.
Kristen.
Colin, are you here only because Hannah brought you here?
No.
Do you want to elaborate?
No, it's not like I don't think I'm here at all just because she's here. And I don't think she's here just because I'm here. I mean, yeah, it was an alliance that we had, obviously. But I don't think she made any moves that I didn't make either. It's not like she just told me what to do and I just followed her order. Actually, it was never like that. We made moves together. No, yeah.
Okay. Shaggy, I'm rooting for you, but this is a really hard question. You're here, what it might seem like, not because of skill, but because Colin and Hannah decided to have you here. Do you think that's the case?
I don't think so. Because for each vote that I made, yes, I would talk to Hannah about it. But it's not like that was it. For each vote, I had a backup plan in case something went wrong, in case I had some sort of a plan for myself. It's not like I just went exactly along with everything they said. It's that I was making sure I got to this point. Yet, I also didn't want it. Obviously, I was when I came to Hannah. It wasn't like it's not like I could 100% trust her because it was me from a different alliance coming. So, and I think that mindset, yes, to an extent, I trust Hannah, and I would consider Hannah my friend. But I always had another plan. I always had something else in case something went wrong. So I'd say not at all, because I also planned out stuff. I also made sure things went the way I wanted it to for most of the time.
Okay. Thank you, Henry. Colin Bun, finish us out.
So congratulations on all of you for making it here. I think you all have played really great games, and I was kind of just figuring out who the best one is. Hannah, I don't think it's a surprise that I wanted you gone since week 1. You can ask Trevor in every single confession. When I was asked who is the most dangerous player in the game, I always said you. And I was always trying to gun for you every single time. Because I thought you were the most dangerous, and I think you proved me right. Because Survivor is to outlast. And I know that for multiple weeks, for multiple tribals, you were on the bottom. Alliances just kept breaking and the numbers went against you, and yet you made it to this point kind of being like the mafia boss of the game. Can you speak on how you climbed from the bottom of being outvoted 4-2 and getting to the place where you are right now?
I think making a lot of sneaky moves, and knowing when to keep things a secret, keeping my idol a secret, keeping, Colin's and I strong alliance a little bit in the shadow a little bit more. So I think doing that, and like I said before, not being afraid to make a move. I think for some votes, I realized that while I had I'm a kind of sentimental, emotional person too, but I knew when I needed to set emotions aside and just look at the game as a game and be like, this player is a really big threat, and yes, they're a great friend of mine, but they need out of this game. And so being willing to turn things off when I needed to and look at the game as a game, and kind of looking at everything with an open perspective, looking at the lines of Shaggy and being like, oh yep, actually that's a possibility, I'm not going to shut that down now. And being aware of when I need to make moves and when I need to take a step back. So I think a lot of this game, I was kind of always thinking about things that was going to happen next. And I know from what I've heard, you were kind of at that same point thinking a lot about the game. And so I think just kind of being aware of everything that was going on and being willing to make moves when I needed to, like I said.
Shaggy, we're going to discuss the destruction of the Pinky Pack.
Yep.
Remember that night in the hallway by the vending machine?
Yep.
We talked, and I told you exactly what would happen if you told everyone that the idol was fake.
Yeah.
And rewatching the video before I came here, every damn thing I said came to pass. The Pinky Pack was destroyed. Me and Leah were both voted out. The alliance fell apart. And from an outside perspective looking in, it appeared like you were at the bottom the entire time since the Pinky Pack fell apart. Your name was voted for most. There were multiple times when, if Henry played his idol, you were gone. If anyone else had played an idol, you were always the one on the bottom. I want you to explain to me your decision of why that was a move that you should be proud of, and why it ended up benefiting you in this game.
Because when I made that alliance, when that alliance happened, like I said for Lily's thing, one thing I've learned is that I need to trust people. In that alliance, I wanted to trust everyone in that alliance. And I wanted everyone to be equal. And I said, I have to start trusting these people. And we have to be equal, and we have to be a complete alliance. Because I have to stop being so paranoid about that they're gonna backstab me. And when you came up to me in that hallway, I thought to myself, this is not equal. If this is gonna be an alliance, it's gonna be fair, and this is gonna be for all of us. Because you said in that booth before, when you pulled off that idol, you said this idol is for the alliance. And I thought about that, and I said,
I did.
And I said, I I want this idol to be, I want that to be true. I want this idol to be for all of us, so that we all know about it and we all can plan together and we're all equal.
Now here's the question. If you were acting in the best interest of the Alliance, when I told you, and it has been confirmed that that move would break the Alliance apart, then why did you do it?
Because I sat down and I said, I'm going to trust the people in my Alliance.
Well, that segues into my next question. You talk a lot about trust in this game, but I know John out there, he trusted you, he got voted out. I trusted you, I got voted out. Henry, you may trust you, got voted out. You talk a lot about trust in this game, but from my perspective, trust has been the weakest part of your game.
Because in this game, yes, you have to pick and choose who you trust. And at least for you can't trust everyone in this game. You can't trust every player. You can't trust every alliance. Trust can't be everything. So at the beginning of this game, I didn't have a lot of trust. But then again, like I said, once I got there, I said, I'm gonna trust. And I started trusting people. Like, I trusted Lily, and I trusted Leah, and I trusted you. And again, when you showed me that, I said, this alliance is going to be whole. And this alliance is going, all of us are gonna trust each other, no secrets, we're gonna get to the end of this game together. And that's what I played, that's why I made my move.
Alright, to switch, Hannah, I am frankly amazed that you did not play your idol until the last possible moment that you did. There were so many times where it looked like the vote was coming for you and you would have been safe if you played your idol. I was trying to force you to play your idol. I think most of us were. Why didn't you play your idol?
Like I mentioned before, I kept like an open mind for things, and so while the easiest thing was always just to play my idol, like especially with like looking back, the time that I was most certain that I probably should have played, what I was gonna play was the Gabe vote, but then at that time I didn't know we were gonna merge the next challenge, and so looking at that I was like, well, let's say I play my idol and Gabe gets voted out, I guess he's getting voted out next, like me. So I knew that, and so I looked for opportunities where I didn't have to play and I could save it for the next week. And then it kind of just went on to be like, oh, okay, I can save it for the next week and do this, next week and do this, just in case the next week I was gonna have no options open. So I always try to use the option that would allow me to be safe an extra week.
Best of luck to all of you guys.
Thank you, Colin Bun. Thank you, jury. Was a very interesting final tribal council. Thank you, jury. Thank you, final three. For Colin, Ray, Hannah, and Shaggy, your job is done. Jury, you have all the information. All you need to do is vote. Is everyone ready to vote?
Yes.
Yeah. Just a reminder, you are writing down and voting for the person that you want to win this game. And you're writing the person that you want to be the winner of servicing you in deep water. For the last time, it is time to vote. Nick, you're up first.
So I pretty much knew who I was voting for when I first came into this, but the questions definitely just confirmed it for me. You answered every question directly, not circumventedly, and I think you played the best game. You were ruthless, and that's how you play Survivor.
Going for the person where my loyalty lies and always lies. His heart's in the right place, and he really does care about this game. And Shaggy, gang, may the force be with you.
Alright. Easiest vote of the entire game.
bad news. I literally have no clue who I want to vote out right now because I'm very, very conflicted between Hannah and Shaggy because Shaggy really surprised me with this final tribal council. I didn't expect him to really like come out and like say his plan and everything. And his plan actually like it sounded pretty good. At the same time, when I think of like Survivor winner, I think of Hannah. Just because I feel like she has played this really well. At the same time, I'm frustrated because she's had Ray this entire time. And I'm a little scared because I feel like my vote is gonna be the deciding vote. I don't know. So I think I'm going to vote.
Guys, it's been a great season. Thank you all for coming out here to play this game. I do. This club only works if you guys come out here and play, and you guys really brought it this season. And I want to thank you guys for that. With all that said, I know you 3 and you 7 want to hear this vote. So let's do it. There are 7 votes. It takes 4 to win. This time, you want to see your name on the parchment. For last time, are the votes. No idols. No idols selfie.
You're gonna at me. I do it.
First vote. Shaggy. Hannah. 1 vote Shaggy, 1 vote Hannah. Shaggy. Hannah. We're tied. 2 votes Shaggy, 2 votes Hannah. Shaggy. It's 3 votes Shaggy, 2 votes Hannah. Takes 4 to win. The winner of Cyber City, Deep Water.
Next season on Survivor CNU. The spring of 2020 sees the next batch of players begin the battle for the next winner of Survivor CNU. They will clash with new twists, new challenges, and new players.
My name is Allie.
I transfer over from Hampton University.
I'm the vice president of sand volleyball right now.
I'm an information science major. I'm also a computer science minor and a political science minor.
Well, maybe not all new players.
You know what? 14's not enough. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Wait, what?
Join us next season for Survivor CNU. Lost at Sea. Coming in 2022.